Hey friends, let's talk about 5 trends that I want to see leave the bookish space in 2025. This is inspired by Life on Books' video with a similar theme. I saw his video, really liked it, and I thought, you know what? I have 5 things that I'd like to see go away. The first up is I would love for people to just shut the hell up and stop making fun of people for what genres they read, specifically romance or smut readers. We've probably all seen or heard about Call Me Chris's YouTube video and her takes that I think are probably gone now. That was an immediate unfollow for me because I just don't think there is any reason to be judging people for what they read. There are plenty of other reasons to judge people, okay? And the fact that they read smut is not one of them. All right, I can think of a few off the top of my head, like who they voted for and perhaps what type of hats they like to wear, okay? I'm judging you based on that. I am not judging you based on the fact that you pick up a book that has a cartoon cover and there are sex scenes. So I would love to see us stop doing that. I think we can expand that to, I don't want to see people judge others for reading most popular book on Book Talk or a book that is objectively badly written, that they enjoyed it. Shut the fuck up. You don't have to read it. Nobody said you had to read it, so just let them read it. I think that people who are going to do that, they don't belong in the bookish space because I don't think they are a safe person to be in the bookish space, in my opinion. Another thing that I'd love to see being left in 2024 is just the idea that I think Book Talk and BookTube specifically have created, that like, how many books you read has any kind of value and makes you a better reader or not. And how fast you read is something that matters. I just don't think that matters. Reading is not a competition. If you read 1 book a year or if you read over 300 books a year, like, who gives a shit? We're all readers. And I'm saying that like, as a person who reads a fuck ton and reads really fast. I think I read like 305 books in 2024, and I'm well aware that that is not normal. I do not have a social life, and so I dedicate a lot of my time to reading. But if you are doing more and you're out and about and you're reading a book a month, a book a year, great. You're just as much of a reader as I am. And I just think people need to shut up about it. And I also think we need to stop making everything a competition when it comes to that. I know a lot of people, we have this like internalized, I don't know, shame, self-doubt, whatever, that like, we might put internal pressures on ourselves, whether the outside world does or not, about the number of books that we read. And it's not that deep. It doesn't matter. Another thing I'd like to see left in 2024 is reading and only talking about new releases. I actually want to work on this one myself. I post a lot of ARC reviews because I go insane on NetGalley and I have way too many things to read there. So I do feel like I dedicate a lot of my reading time and energy to new releases. But I think as a space, we are so focused on what's next, what's coming, that we don't take the time to appreciate authors' backlists. We don't take the time to appreciate books that maybe came out a few years ago or even a year ago, and we just kind of like, we move on so quickly. And I really want to get better at doing that. I have 750 books on my TBR that I need to read, and my physical TBR, and not all of those came out this year, right? Like, it's not possible. So I specifically want to make sure that I do better at reading through my backlist. I would love to read author backlists for authors that I really love. Fredrik Backman is one that I found in 2024 with Beartown, and now I'm determined to read everything they've written. Percival Everett is an author that I want to read more of, and so I think that type of reading experience is just as valued as what's new and what's coming. Another thing that I want to see left in 2024, and this is more for publishers and marketing, but like, stop marketing books simply based on the tropes, because authors have started writing books that are just tropes. That's all it is. They just are like, what's the trope that I'm going to write? And then that's all that they focus on. They don't focus on character development. They don't focus on plot. And I'm kind of over it, you know? I don't mind a trope. I like the last bed at the inn kind of thing. I like an enemies to lovers, but you don't have to sell me the book based on that. You can sell me the book based on the plot, based on the premise, based on the type of mythology that it has. and then say, oh, and also it's enemies to lovers, right? Like that, I think, is something I would love to see done less, just because I think it's overdone. I think books are more than just their tropes. Another thing that I think should be left behind, I don't even really know why this exists, but with the TikTok ban, there was all those influencers who were like, I don't actually read the books. I just skim the books and read the dialogue. I don't think that that's helpful. If that's the way that you read, that's fine. But then I don't really feel that you're qualified to give me a review of the book, if I'm going to be honest. Especially at least for the types of books that I read, which is a lot of fantasy, a lot of literature, horror. Shit's not happening in the dialogue. Like a fantasy scene where there's like a war. I mean, the dialogue matters for sure, but like you're not getting the action sequences within the dialogue. And when I've read books that do that, I immediately DNF it because it feels pandering. And I don't like that. And so I think readers who are just reading to read the dialogue, I think they're missing out on the experience. And if they've missed out on a major part of the book, I wouldn't want their review. It's kind of just how I feel. I'm going to do a bonus one here, and that is personally a me thing, but I want to leave in 2024 the idea that I'm so intimidated to read a book that I avoid it. These books behind me are a great example. I have been so intimidated by Brandon Sanderson and that I've been like scared to pick it up. And I want to stop doing that. I want to just let myself experience the book. I want to give myself more credit. I do think I'm a smart person, but when I see these big chunky books, I think, oh, I'm not smart enough to understand that. It would be a lot to learn to get into a new high fantasy series, stuff like that. Like, cut the crap. Get rid of the self-doubt, read the book, enjoy the book, and just go for it. There's nothing stopping you except for my own self-doubt. So let me know what your bookish hot takes are and if there are other things that you want to see left in 2024.